Hello and welcome back to the NBA DFS Slate Breakdown. It is Monday, February 26th. We're back. We're going to be breaking it down. Before we do, gotta come join us at Line Star. One of our engineers did get a little takedown yesterday, so shout out to Soccer Geek is in chat and also as his DFS name. So congrats, Eli. Way to take it down. Now, also, if you want to come join us, promo codes right down there. ParlayPlay, Sleeper, Underdog, Chalkboard, all of them you can get one free month of Line Star. If you're a new customer, just got to deposit at least $10. Follow the rules listed below and fill out this little form to just help us know that you did it, and we can get the data from each affiliate. Now, let's jump into the slate itself. We got an interesting one. It's only a 4-gamer on a Monday, which is a little surprising. Kind of surprised it's not more. I mean, we only had like, I don't know, 15 games or so over the entire weekend. Surprised we don't have more today. But hey, we don't. So now, let's jump into it. As always, we start with FanDuel. The very first game of the night is the highest game total by a ton. And with that, I'm getting a lot of that game. But let's dig in position by position, starting with point guard. We got Jalen Brunson, 42% owned, and I like him. We got Emmanuel Quickly, 35% owned. I like him. DeLon Wright is the definite value spot of the day. 33% owned. I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the day he gets higher owned. Frankly, he's almost minimum priced on both DraftKings and FanDuel. And with no Tyler Hero, no Terry Rozier, no Jimmy Butler, it might, he might be starting. He might have to play a lot of games. They're short on or a lot of minutes. They're short on guys. I would expect him to be fairly high owned. And Tyrese Halliburton is the other spot I do like. He's 9,700. Since he's came back from injury, we haven't seen the real high yet. But I'm willing to take some chances on him. And I wouldn't be that surprised if he's under owned as far as what we have projected for now. I wouldn't be surprised if that ownership drops throughout the day. Now, getting into point guard on DK, DeLon Wright, Dennis Schroeder, Jalen Brunson, De'Aaron Fox. Pricing's quite a bit different on DK, so there is a difference here. Schroeder, 4,500. Look, that's just too cheap for a guy that's going to play 28, possibly 30 minutes versus a poor team. And he is a guy, we haven't seen it in Brooklyn, but pretty much for his entire career, he's been between like 0.9, 0.95 fantasy point per minute. So we know he can get it done, but he hasn't yet. Not at least in Brooklyn. I think he is better than how he's been playing, at least. So don't mind taking some shots here. Don't love it, but I don't mind taking some. Brunson, we went over. I like him. De'Aaron Fox at 8,300 is too cheap and would definitely be willing to take some shots on him on DK. And matchup tool-wise, Halliburton, Quickly, Brunson, high-owned guys, all good matchups. Shooting guard, we got Quickly, we got Benedict Mathurin, Dante DiVincenzo are the 3 high-owned guys. DiVincenzo, 7,600. Thing with him is his minutes have fallen off a little bit. That huge run where he was just crushing, he was having like 40 minutes a night. And last 2 games, 32, 35. So those minutes have fallen off a little bit. I do expect him to be around 34 as long as it's not a huge blowout. So I'm intrigued, but I don't love him. I don't love the ownership. Some pivots. Quentin Grimes, he played his first game with Detroit, had 26 minutes. The thing here is that this is a player that at one point the Knicks would not let go. You know, he was one of their prized possessions, young guy that they thought had, you know, a ton of upside. And he may, but it's crazy the Knicks wouldn't let him go. But anyways, now he isn't in Detroit. Being his second game, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a couple more minutes. You know, I do expect him to still come off the bench, but I wouldn't be that surprised if he goes from 26 to 28. We do have him at 24 right now, which is probably a fairly safe minutes projection because he is coming off the bench. But with Sasser out, who would have been the first guy off the bench, maybe Grimes picks up a couple there too. Duncan Robinson with no Rozier, no Hero, no Butler. They're going to need a shot maker. I expect Robinson to start. He has a high ceiling if he gets it going. He put up 43 the other day. Can definitely do it again in a spot where he needs to shoot. They're going to need him scoring. And over on to DK shooting guard, we got Dennis Schroeder, Benedict Mathurin, and Mikal Bridges, with Dante coming in all at pretty similar ownership. And we have pretty much gone all over them, so we will get on to the matchup tool. Dante DiVincenzo, Duncan Robinson, Kevin Huerter, all coming in interesting. One thing I will note with Huerter, so his minutes are all over the place. So this is a situation that I think is interesting to attack DFS-wise. We have him at 26.8 minutes. If you put him at 30, which he played the other night, which he plays when he plays well, his projection would look really good. So, you know, on these smaller slates, these are some of the stands where you can kind of consider going if you want. Good matchup. If he plays extra, he's going to get there. And a guy with a solid ceiling when he gets it going. So he's an interesting play, interesting pivot, lower ownership. I'm not getting a ton right now, but it's one of the things to think about here. And over on to small forward. So we got Keegan Murray, we got Benedict Mathurin, Zaire Williams. Williams coming in 4,600, very high owned. Went off the other night. Down to 30 minutes the next night. I would expect him right around 30 again. And look, this is my issue here on the season. When he starts, averages 29 minutes and 25 fantasy points a game. So I expect him to be there. He's definitely an option. I just don't think there's a huge ceiling situation. And that is my worry, just the ceiling with him. He showed it the other night. But outside of that, he's had a hard chance hitting 30. So, Benedict, I do like. He started the last two games. We know when he gets a rolling, he has a 50-point ceiling or, you know, mid-40s at least. And he can definitely get it rolling versus this Toronto team. The one thing I will say with Benedict is because I like Halliburton, I like Benedict, I like Siakam. Those three guys all need the ball in their hands to do well. I don't know if I want three of those guys in the same lineup. I think I only want at least two of them. Halliburton can make everybody else score, so you know, I'm tempted to take him out of it and then just say one of maybe Benedict, Siakam, and you could throw Turner in there as far as two of those three maybe. But I think there's definitely some sort of rule that I need to come up with as far as how many Pacers can get into a lineup, because right now I'm getting into a lot of them and really need to dive in and see who goes off when other guys go off. All right. Pivot guys, Grimes we talk about, Duncan Robinson's, Jaime Jaquez. I can't believe he's not higher owned yet. One, the Heat are going to be very limited on guys, and we've seen that when he starts, they're not, afraid to go to 35 minutes on him. I think this is a spot that he could go 35 minutes on, and we've seen him hit 50. So 5.9K, it's a guy that can almost go 10x in a ceiling game, and this is a game where all their best ball control players are all out. Hero, Rozier, Butler, all gone. Jaquez is going to have the ball a lot. With that being said, I think Bam Adebayo is interesting too, because he could have higher assist numbers than he generally does because he's a good passer and they're going to need that out of him today as well. So I think Jaquez is very interesting at low ownership, as is Caleb Martin. I think you're likely going to have at least one Heat in tonight's lineup. Then you're probably going to have a little bit from this Toronto Pacers game. And then the last couple pieces are just going to be mixed in. Caleb Martin's interesting. Scotty Barnes is my favorite piece from Toronto. And it's that game that I like. I am very intrigued in stacking this game a little bit. And Simone Fontecchio, or however you want to pronounce his name. We talked about him on the NBA pick show, where he's just been a much, much better player with Detroit than he was with Utah. So on the season, the last 20 starts, 0.7 fantasy point per minute. If you look where he's just on Detroit, it's up to 0.9 fantasy point per minute. He's almost taking double the shot attempts. I think he's interesting at 5,600. Don't think he's, overpriced. We've seen him get into the 40s fantasy point wise. So definitely a little intrigued by him. Don't mind going there. And on to DK, we got Dante DiVincenzo, Jaquez, and Duncan Robinson, all fine. And Benedict Mathurin, Jaquez, and Fontecchio have the best spots. Into power forward. Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes, Josh Hart, all highest owned guys. And I got to bring up Pascal Siakam. 7,800 is just too cheap. I'm getting to a ton of this guy. I mean, honestly, at this point, I might as well just lock him because my first run had 90% of him. So he is likely a guy I'm going to be on big time. Now, maybe that changes throughout the day as different news comes out, but he's definitely one of my primary targets at this point. Not too high owned, and I like the outcome. Keegan Murray, I definitely am intrigued on as well. He's a guy that can really get it going and has that high ceiling, and that Heat defense is not going to be quite as good as it usually is. Jaren Jackson is another guy. I mean, put up 50 just the other night. It is pretty much him being the only real weapon. Vince Williams has been very good, but we know Jaren Jackson has a giant ceiling, and when he gets it rolling, 50, 60 is absolutely possible. 8,800 is not too much for that, and it's a spot where he could do well. Power forwards on DK, Jaren Jackson, Keegan Murray, and Jaime Jaquez. Into the matchup tool, Siakam, DFS, Achua all have the better matchups. Barnes, Murray are just fine. Caleb Martin, just meh. And let's get over to center. Close it out quick. All right, Bam Adebayo, highest owned, 28%. Miles Turner, 23%. Some pivots that I am intrigued on. Jaren Jackson. We talked about Bam a little bit already, but let's touch on it again. Look, without all those guys, he has a huge ceiling. He's almost a 1.3 fantasy per minute guy. And simply, they're going to need him to have the ball in his hands more and do a lot with it. Not only does he have to play good defense, but he is going to have to distribute. He's going to have to score, and can definitely go to him. He has been good lately, and we've seen games where he is absolutely crushed with, getting high 60s. So the ceiling's there. The floor is probably there tonight, minus, the situation where the Kings just totally blow out the Heat. So definitely intrigued by going there. Miles Turner's another one. It's been really good with Siakam, actually, which a lot of times having a good power forward there hurts the center, but it just has not done that with Miles Turner. So am intrigued to go there. The one thing that's a bummer is just his minutes. Like, most games he's in that 28-29 area. we really need him to get to 30, 31 for him to crush. And he just doesn't go there that much. That's my one issue with him. On to center on DraftKings, bam, JJJ and Domantas Sabonis coming in as the higher owned guys. And matchup tool-wise, Claxton, Hartenson, Turner, the best matchups. One thing that I did think was interesting here, Claxton and Hartenstein, their best attributes are rebounding. Claxton's a decent scorer too, which he gets a boost there. But these two guys are getting boosts at two of the things they are best at. So whenever I see that, I'm fairly intrigued and don't mind taking some of those where, nobody's really going there right now. All right, guys, that'll do it for us today. Thank you for joining me again. We will be back tomorrow. Let's make some money. Good luck. Adios.